Hello everyone, welcome to AFC Game by Game. And first of all, if you are thinking that I'm looking a little bit redder than usual, then you'd be right in thinking that I am looking a little bit redder than usual. And that's because despite my best efforts, I haven't been able to get all the fake blood from a Halloween party that I was at last night off my face. So yeah, I haven't got some crippling disease, it's just fake blood on my face. I am gutted about that. But that hasn't stopped me talking about Arsenal's fantastic 3-2 victory away from home in Bulgaria against Ludogorets this evening. It was a slog of a game at times, Arsenal making real hard work of it, but I mean, you can't deny that we like to make it exciting for ourselves. Going 2-0 down in that opening 15 minutes, you can't help but feel, it's the 1st of November. It'd be so unbelievably ironic if we were to just capitulate at this time of the month, albeit on the 1st of November. It would be so classic Arsenal. And the way that we've come back from 2-0 down to win the game 3-2 in what was a very difficult fixture, I think it shows a real steel and determination from what is a rejuvenated Arsenal side. It was great to see Arsenal grind out a victory in the end. It was incredibly hard, especially in that second half when Ludogorets kind of went back to the walls, held on for the point in a way, played on the counter-attack. It was always going to be difficult going to Bulgaria as well, because you've got to bear in mind that 6-0 win, yes, it was a superb result, one of the best results in terms of goal scoring that we're going to get all season, but it flattered us in so many ways. The last three goals that we scored in that match all came at a time when Ludogorets were tiring. I think a fair result would have been 3-0 at home at the Emirates, but we got a fantastic result on the night. I didn't expect us to get anything so similar away from home against a team that, for that opening 10-15 minutes at the Emirates Stadium did look like a side that were going to cause us problems. They've got some tricky players, they've got some dangerous men in their team. And they played very well on the counter. They've scored against PSG. They've got a fantastic draw against Basel in their opening game of the group stage. They look dangerous at the Emirates Stadium. So it's always going to be difficult travelling out to Bulgaria. And we couldn't assume that we were going to roll them over. I do think we went into this game with a little bit of complacency, a bit of arrogance perhaps. And that did cost us in the opening 15 minutes because we did go 2 goals down. But thankfully, we've shown grit and we've shown determination to come back and win the game by 3-2. So first and foremost, the team lineup. Quite a few changes. We saw Carl Jenkinson come in for Hector Bellerin, who apparently has a slight niggle. Personally, I just think he's being rested for the North London derby. Jenkinson was at the heart of a lot of criticism tonight, and I do think, if I'm being brutally honest, he was at fault on a number of occasions. But I mean, let's not be too quick to jump on his case, because he's been out for 9 months, almost a year. This is his first Champions League game back. It was a very difficult fixture. The team didn't play particularly well in the opening 10-15 minutes, so the blame can't be solely had with him. He was an individual that didn't have his best performance of the night, but I don't think he was one of the worst players on the pitch either. I thought he had a fairly decent game, given that it was his first game back in the Champions League in God knows how long. So fair play to Carl Jenkinson. He certainly doesn't deserve all the criticism that went his way tonight. His counterpart, Kieran Gibbs, on the other side of the pitch, I thought he had a very difficult game. He seemed to struggle at times. But then again, he shouldn't come at the heart of criticism as well. I saw people absolutely begging for Nacho Monreal to come in tonight on social media outlets such as Twitter. And I'm thinking to myself, Kieran Gibbs has put in some fantastic performances over the past 3 matches. Whenever he's come off the bench, he's looked superb. He had a shaky game tonight, but so did a lot of players. Why is Kieran Gibbs being scapegoated? In a sense, it was stupid, some of the comments that were being thrown his way. Yes, he was at fault for the second goal that we conceded, but I think if you look at the way he slipped, I certainly would have jockeyed that player out if he hadn't have slipped. And a lot of players were slipping. Granit Xhaka slipped. Loads of players slipped. It was a shocking pitch service from Ludogorets, and I think that played into their hands, and it certainly worked to their advantage on that goal. The first goal that we conceded was pretty poor, to be frank. Ospina, I think, could have done a bit better. The whole defence in general should have done better. It was a very good delivery from the Ludogorets player to put it into Carfu, who put it in the back of the net. It was a soft goal to concede, and then shortly following that, a counter-attack on the break. Kieran Gibbs, as I said, was slipped, played it into, I believe it was Ludogorets' top goal scorer to make it 2-0. And we were on the ropes at that point. Just before I do get into the rest of this review, there were a couple of other players that were included in the Arsenal squad today. Aaron Ramsey making his return from injury, playing out on that right-hand side. I think that was always going to be a difficult position for him to have a full impact on the game. I do believe at times he slowed our play down dramatically, but at the same time, He's just coming back from his injury. Again, another player that doesn't deserve any of the bulk of the criticism that comes his way. There were things he could have done better. I personally think had we started with Oxlade-Chamberlain, we'd have been a lot more dangerous in this game. I don't think there was a necessary need to start with Xhaka and Coquelin. I think we could have started with either Coquelin, Ramsey, or Xhaka, Ramsey. That would have worked to our favour, in my opinion, and played Chamberlain or Iwobi on that right hand side, and still kept Olivier Giroud up top, who came back in, scored the goal today, of course. Yeah, there were a lot of changes in the team as well. Xhaka coming back in as well. I thought he was very good in the midfield. Coquelin, I thought he was fine alongside him. But I think it was a rather unbalanced team. There wasn't a lot of chemistry within the players that were in the Arsenal starting 11. And at times, that front four, essentially, of Ramsey, Ozil, Alexis and Giroud can be predictable to play against. There was no real plan B in this game as such. It was just a case of there being a lot more grit and determination that we haven't seen in previous seasons. But we did get ourselves back into the game. It was a wonderfully worked goal, really, through Mesut Ozil, who managed to keep the ball in play, crossing it into Granit Xhaka, and it was a really good finish by the Swiss man to make it 2-1. And then just before half time, Olivier Giroud making it 2-2. A delightful ball in from Aaron Ramsey, who I think, as I say, did struggle at times in this game, but I mean, you know, he's got an assist. He's got 2 assists in 2 games now. He's obviously having a contribution to the side. Put it on a plate for Olivier Giroud, who made no mistake in putting it past the keeper to make it 2-2 just before half time. And I had no doubts in my mind that Arsenal would go on to win the game at that point. Going out into the second half, Ludogorets back to the walls made it very, very difficult for us. They were clinging on for that point. They wanted what would be a rather famous result for them, a similar result to what they had against Liverpool a couple of seasons ago. But the difference in this game was, of course, Mesut Ozil with a goal that I'm never, ever, ever going to get tired of watching. The composure, the delicacy of that goal was absolutely superb. Mohamed El-Neni, who'd not come on long into the game, playing the ball into Mesut Ozil, and a seriously underrated pass. I mean, the goal was good, but the pass as well was superb to put Ozil in. He takes it round the keeper, Mesut Ozil, chipping it over him, and then sells the dummy to 2 Ludogorets defenders and puts it into the back of the net. To be that calm, to be that composed, to be that arrogant in a way in what was the 87th minute of the game in a fixture that we kind of had to win away from home. I mean, the guy is world class. He is out of this world. Simply brilliant from Mesut Ozil. And as I say, I'm never, ever going to get tired of watching that goal. But a lot of positives to take from Arsenal's performance tonight. At the back, very shaky, I thought. It doesn't really help that we were, changing goalkeeper, changing fullbacks essentially. There's definitely room for improvement there. Mustafi, I still feel that, although he's been very good for us, I still feel that he has a mistake in him. And I think that he's still got quite a bit of learning to do alongside Laurent Koscielny. I'm confident that he'll mature in no time and get those little mistakes rubbed out of him in the months to come. But yeah, all round a fantastic result in the end. It was rather shaky at times, as I say, but we've qualified for the last 16 of the Champions League, and that's a massive achievement for us so early on into the group stage as well. I mean, we've done it with 2 games to spare. That game at home to PSG is going to be massive now. In terms of trying to top the group, but just qualifying in general is just going to be a big weight off our shoulders. But yeah, we know what game's next. The North London derby. We had to get a win tonight in order to propel some confidence into the side for that game on Sunday. And 12 o'clock kickoff Sunday against Tottenham Hotspur. I'm really ready for that game. I'm confident Arsenal. Well, am I confident Arsenal can win that game? I like to think I'm confident. This team has shown a lot of belief, a lot of self-confidence in recent weeks. Doing one over on Tottenham, a team that we haven't actually beaten for quite a while now, would be superb. So it's going to be big for us, that game on Sunday. It's going to be absolutely massive. One of the biggest North London derbies in quite some time, and hopefully Arsenal will do the business on Sunday lunchtime. Anyway, guys, please do drop a like on this video. If you have enjoyed it, subscribe to AFC Game by Game, and as always, I'll be speaking to you very, very soon.